pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. That just might work.
Welcome back to another episode of the Michel Matters Podcast. I'm Jaxn Michel.
And I'm Jackie Michelle.
Welcome.
Back?
I don't know why. I just felt like self-conscious about the way I just said my name.
Why?
I was like, because I've always like assimilated to like this American
how did you say it just now?
I think I said Jaxn.
Okay.
But my name is like Jacques, right? So I've
Are
always
you asking
kind of
me or
no, I'm not asking. I'm
okay.
telling you because I feel like I always like just assimilate to like the American pronunciation of my name.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I do that. It's kind of like what I always grew up saying, even though I know my name is Jacques. It's like my dad. Like my dad, when he goes somewhere, he tells people his name is Henry, but his name's Henri. Like,
okay. So, but is that just accent or is that?
Nah, that's a lot more than accent.
I guess. Yeah.
Like that's a whole completely different phonetic. Like,
so you're from here on out refer to you as Jacques.
I think so. I think that's where I'm moving towards. Like, I mean,
I wish I had that confidence with my previous last name growing up.
Yeah, I don't know. I
was just like, I don't want to deal with you today.
I did it to make people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Now I'm like, nah, that's not my name. Say my name.
Okay.
I don't know why. That I don't know why. I think it's because of a conversation we had yesterday. But it like,
the way.
Yeah, I just like to hear myself say it is like, I don't know. Jacques. It's gonna be a new intro. Jacques Michel.
I was gonna say something, but I just
keep it.
Yep.
Okay.
It's not appropriate.
Tell me offline. Oh, okay. You know, maybe you can't tell me offline, but
okay.
Anyway,
back with another pillow talk.
Yeah, a little informal. If you're listening, we dropped this one, a little off schedule, but it's gonna be on schedule somewhat.
Yeah, I feel like the pillow talks we can just sneak them in whenever we want.
Yeah, we always say it's gonna be that Monday. We didn't say what time Monday, but Monday. So when y'all get it, y'all get it. Yeah, you get what you get, and you don't get upset, right?
That's right. Yeah, so it's a lot been happening on social media streets.
Yes, sir.
With a married couple right now. Well, yeah, they're still married, so
yeah, happily.
If you haven't heard of Derrick Jaxn with an X lately, I don't know where you've been.
Before you get started, like, how long did it take before you knew that's how you pronounced it?
Jackson?
Yeah. It's Jaxn. Like, it took me...
it makes sense. I don't like it, but it makes sense.
I guess it wasn't until I heard someone, like, say it out loud. And I was like, oh, that's what he was trying to do? But it was...
If that's his name.
What do you mean if that's his name?
I don't know. Maybe that's not his name, for real.
I mean, he's... Why would you make up Jackson? Like that could be your internet name. Like his pseudonym?
Yeah.
But then, I guess, why spell it funny? I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. But carry on.
But yeah, so there are a lot of things that we can kind of grasp from everything that has happened with him recently. We can talk about, we can always talk about cheating spouses. That's always one. We could talk about, building a career off of something.
Off a lie?
Off of a lie, I guess, but off of like your real life, right?
Okay.
Or like, I'm always curious as to how people can actually build a career off of their traumas and stuff, right?
Okay, yeah.
Like, that's not triggering. Like, I always think about that. But, okay, so that's one aspect. Like, your whole social media presence and career is based off of, like, you have to live a certain way. Because if you don't, then, like, it all falls down.
But it's like being a personal trainer and you...
And you don't work out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. What else? Like, there's just so many different avenues. But I think the avenue that we want to dive into today is the religious aspect, right? And just how, because we talk about, and I think we've brought up, like, how people can bounce back from infidelity or anything, really, any hardship in their relationship or in life in general, but especially infidelity, how you bounce back and where grace is applied and what does that look like? Because that could just look like I forgive you and I move on, or it could be like I forgive you and let's move on together.
Okay, yeah.
But in this case, it doesn't sit well with a lot of us folks. The way that they're going about things.
Okay, I guess give a little bit more background on the whole situation. Okay. And then we'll work our way forward.
So allegedly this is a self-proclaimed...
Allegedly this is a self-proclaimed. He is a self-proclaimed. It's not even alleged.
But I've never heard him proclaim himself to be a relationship expert or guru or whatever. Okay. But his social media presence is, him giving relationship advice. Mainly to women about men. Yeah. I would say. Like any video that I've seen, which is probably just like 3, is like, don't take this from no man. Right? So Derrick is always giving advice to women. I would assume his target market is single black women for the most part. Yeah. And he would always talk about just like how women are not supposed to take, disrespect from their men, or a man who doesn't want you is gonna act like this, or if he cheats on you, this is how he feels, and and move on, or whatever. Respect yourself, queen, whatever. Come to find out, this man has been married for the past 4 years, and we have never seen his wife until like this year. And he's been cheating on her for the duration of their marriage and before that. Dun, dun, dun. And they've been together since college. So, yeah. I don't know if he's posted anything since then.
I mean, I didn't check it. I don't check for... I didn't check for him to begin with. Yeah. And I'm definitely not checking for him now.
But, so... Basically, it came out. I think this YouTuber was the first one to call him out, and he had one of the side chicks, or she had one of the side chicks on her show, do an interview. She had 2 of them actually on her show. So I'm sure there are more. And
where 2 or more are gathered. No, I'm joking. Well, not
that'll preach.
We don't.
Oh. Yeah, so she had 2 of them on her show, and they kind of gave, their experience with him. And the timeline was that he was in a relationship the whole time. So him and his wife came out with a video holding hands, tightly, and just not matching in appearance. And basically saying like, I apologize to my wife in private, and I want to apologize to her in public. And, she did some stuff too, and, we're going to move forward.
He kept sneaking that in there. Like, that was one of the things I really noticed. Like, he couldn't just fully take the accountability. No. He had to keep sneaking in, like, and she did her own thing too. We won't talk about that today, but she did her own thing too. Yeah.
Did she cheat too?
Hey. I mean, is that the only thing that could go wrong?
But that's what we're talking about today. Okay, you know what I'm saying? That's what y'all talking about in this video. So if she didn't cheat, I don't see how this is at all relevant. So anyway, they came out with that video together. I think a lot of the backlash was obviously because he cheated, and, you're a liar. You're portraying something that you're not. And then also, your wife... This is our introduction to your wife. Yeah. So the first time we're meeting your wife on social media, at least your page, is because you cheated on her. And then also she has a bonnet on, or what appears to be a bonnet.
Let's be clear. She told everyone it was not a bonnet.
It was the helmet.
It was the helmet of salvation.
Period. And...
Oh, we sound so crazy, but carry on.
I know. Who's we?
Carry on. The Saints.
Yes. So she came on her, on camera with her quarantine outfit. Yeah. Like, this is how we've all been looking all year. Like, if we're going to be honest.
She just turned her Zoom camera on by accident.
There you go. But my thing is, he looked fine. Like, he looked like you can go, grab a Starbucks or whatever. Like, you can go out into society looking how you look.
But the thing is, after seeing her second video, that may be her steez. Like, that may be just how she did. That may be dressing up for her.
Yeah. So let's talk about it, because in her videos now, because she got followers off of this, and so she's explaining her side. Like, yes, I did leave for a time, but he's shown himself to be, repentant, I guess.
Okay.
And, the devil, the enemy is attacking her marriage. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how in certain situations are we groomed as Christians or people who have grown up in church, because there's a difference, to believe that everything is the enemy. Or like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the enemy didn't mess up your marriage. Like, your husband went and slept with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot. It was a lot. And I was like low-key saddened by the whole situation, because I don't think like infidelity is uncommon, or let me not say that. No, maybe it isn't uncommon, but it's not always played out in. You're saying it is on social media.
Oh, exactly.
Like, people go through this, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's already a very stressful time, I'm assuming, and to have to like see it play out on social media makes it, I don't know, I feel like it would make it harder.
Yeah.
But I did understand that there had to be some public repentance, because the disrespect was so public. Like, the violation was so public.
Yeah.
You had to say something.
Mm-hmm. And you're a public figure. Like, your whole brand is based off of a solid relationship.
Yeah. So to have this come out about you, you had to say something. The issue with him was in most of his like videos and his speakings, he doesn't show grace or sympathy to people who commit these same violations.
That's good.
So now he has to sit here and he gotta take what he's been giving out. No sympathy, and people were ruthless with him. And unfortunately,
but the internet is ruthless.
They are, but it's something about like people cheat like all the time, right? Like Kevin Hart cheats, it comes out on the internet, whatever. But it's because
people grandpa cheat.
Yeah, like people don't go like crazy like Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. There weren't like a trillion memes about it, and people weren't like, it was vicious. The amount of like tweets that I saw about Derrick Jaxn and other public figures, especially, like typically it'd be like the common folk on Twitter who will like make fun of, but like other celebrities finding joy in his despair
because he went for them.
I mean, he made money off other people. Like,
right.
I know he made money off his video talking about John Gray or talking about other celebrities and when they cheat. So it's like, nah, you gonna get this work. Like, you want to talk about people, now it's your turn. The problem came where he put his wife on camera for that, and she became the butt of a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
Where I don't think she should have, but it's just, I get it. It's the internet. That part was the internet. Like, I don't think a lot of the celebrities were making fun of his wife. They made fun of him. I think the common folk on Twitter made fun of his wife.
Yes.
Because of the things she was saying and the way she looked on camera.
Yeah.
And I think...
because he should have known better.
He knew better. I think he knew better.
He shows up on camera shirtless. He shows up on camera with like a fitted tee showing his muscles or whatever. Like, and your audience is women.
Yeah.
Single women.
Yeah.
So it's like, you already know how social media works. Why would you have your wife on here looking like this?
Yeah.
Even if makeup and stuff is not her thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it was twists under that bonnet that could have been
that helmet.
Released.
Yeah, under that helmet. But you don't go to war without your helmet. Like, she's in a spiritual warfare right now. And it was those types of phrases and that type of wording
so let's talk about
where it sounds like that super spiritualness is putting women at, like, not harm's way, but like it's a excuse for, like, grief or distress, like like, you know, this is just God, like, testing me. And there were other memes coming out where people were saying things like, oh man, this makes me want to go out and get a Christian woman because you could cheat on her and then y'all could pray about it and blame the devil.
Right. And
the funny thing is, like, I think some people feel obligated, right, to stay in these relationships, and they feel like they have to say all this Christianese to explain why they're working it out or how this all happened. And it's like, I think it's a little simpler than that. I think your husband or wife, whoever it was that stepped out, they just violated. Like, I know you hate when people say it's a mistake, or they made a mistake. But he slept with somebody else. The devil wasn't, like, attacking your home.
Right. I think the part for me, like what you said, like, why does it have to be, you know, on the enemy? Why does it have to be an enemy's attack? Like, why is that always, why is that typically the go-to for an experience like this, instead of, like, you're humiliating your wife? We are both created, you know, equally, but what were you saying? Equally, but differently, or whatever. Like, I don't know the phrase, but, like, you don't have to, God doesn't have to humble you in this way while humiliating your wife.
Yeah.
So why is it always, like, the enemy?
I think
sometimes it's just you made a bad decision.
Yeah, I think it removes some accountability from people to, I guess, blame the devil, quote unquote. And there's more verses where you can, like, look up where, you know, you're talking about the enemy versus, like, how to deal with your husband that cheats on you and disrespects you, or has shown a lack of love for you. And
yeah,
it's a struggle for me because, and I said this the other day when I was talking to you and Judy, there can be a testimony here, right?
Yeah.
I don't think all relationships that endure infidelity have to end.
Yeah.
If you can find a way to forgive each other and work through it and love each other, and you are, like, rebuilding your foundation, really, like, through the lens of, like, forgiveness of Christ, like Christ forgiving and grace, there can be a testimony there.
Right.
But to me, I feel like that was lost when it looked like a tool that was used to, like, cover up what they were going through, or I don't know. I just feel like that's something that should have been handled offline, right?
No, but it had to be handled online too. Like, not handled. It just had to. He had to talk about it online.
He did,
but they didn't both have to.
Yeah, he didn't have to do it with her.
Go that far. Yeah,
I think he was the one who transgressed. His wife is never on his channel. She didn't have to be there for this.
Yeah,
he could have easily made his video, signed off, and
took a break.
Yeah, like, yeah, you need some time to step away and get your life right. Like, you can't expect this to be like, oh, we found out you cheated yesterday and my life is perfect now.
Right.
You guys should just accept that and keep watching my videos. Or don't forget, my book is out, link in bio.
Yeah.
Like, selling us to death. And it all felt like a ploy. Whereas, like, now you, amazingly, you have a book out that talks about all this. So you're capitalizing off of this
while you're here.
Yeah, and it still feels like it's still in the thick of it. Like, you went through this last year. And I think it made it look like, or at least the way it was perceived, was that because I'm a Christian, she made it seem like she had to stay there and work through it. Like, this is just another test.
Yeah.
And
this ain't one of them tests.
Yeah.
And like what you said too, like when I hear about a married couple who has endured or who has worked through something like this, granted, that's not like the testimony I look forward to hearing, but if they are actually flourishing in their marriage, it's like, wow, that's encouraging to see that like people can survive this, because typically they don't. So I think what the world was responding to was not even the fact that she was staying. It was just like, first of all, he's done this over and over again, and you look like you're going through it.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, that played a big role.
You don't have to stay. But if you do, this is not the way that you, like, mend this whole situation. You know? So now people are just going on. People are trashing you because, like, you look stupid now. You know what I mean? Not because you chose to stay, but it's like, you don't.
Yeah. It's like, you know how sometimes we say it's like, I don't look like what I've been through. Like, she looks like what she's been through.
Yeah.
And it came off on screen like, oh no, she's going through it. And then when you look like you're going through it, and then you're saying things like, you know, this is just another test, or it's like, ugh, like, is that what I have to go through as a Christian wife?
Right.
And it's like, I have to look stupid on screen, and I have to stand by my cheating husband.
But I think a lot of people believe that based on, you know, whatever it is their pastor told them.
But my thing is, my Bible don't say that, right?
No.
Like I granted, it's just, you know, this long-standing debate about whether divorce or like infidelity for like as a cause for or a reason for divorce, and whether this is pleasing to God, or, I mean, it's in the Bible, and there is a biblical backing for not being in that relationship. Do I think that? Am I a proponent for trying to fix it? Yeah. I am. But do I understand when it just doesn't work?
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Right.
You don't have to deal with this public, like, I don't even know what to call it, but like this public display of grief and
disrespect.
Like, yeah. And then kind of not blame God, but like put it on God. Like, it's God is like, I mean, you can leave.
My name's Bennett.
You don't, and I know that's like sacrilege to be like, oh, God is telling you to leave, because divorce doesn't make him happy. But at the same time, there is biblical backing for it. Yeah. So it's like, you don't have to endure this. If you decide to, right? If you decide to work through this, I believe that is all in your right. Yeah. And I would root for you, right? Like, I would root for you if I walked in their wedding or something. Right. I would root for them to find a way to work through this. Make it work. But I would definitely recommend that you turn off your camera and deal with this at home by yourself or with your pastor. And like, maybe they have done this, but it didn't look like it. Like, that's not what it came off like on screen. Yeah. And the internet go internet. That's the internet's undefeated.
I just know if I was ever in this situation, my group of people would not let me look like this. I'm not even talking about her appearance. I'm just talking about the whole situation, right? It just doesn't look good. Like, you need to, like, even her comments and stuff, like, stop that. Like, turn them off. You know what I mean?
The thing about it, right, is like
go private. Like
you don't sound sane. When your husband has cheated on you, and you talk about you're wearing the helmet of salvation, I'm just like, well, how is that helping you in the situation? Like, I don't get it. You sound crazy to people who, one, probably don't understand the faith to begin with.
And what battle is it?
Yeah, and it's like, what
battle are you fighting? Because you got that on, but does he have that on?
Like,
because he didn't have that on the first or the second time that he cheated on you.
I don't know if that's what they were referring to when they talk about wearing the armor of God, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you can twist the scripture to kind of bend into the way you want to use it, but when you're on screen, right, like, people don't really, especially people who don't know of the Bible, right, it just sounds manipulative. It sounds like we're brainwashed into thinking, like, that's not a bonnet, that's the helmet of salvation. Like, sis, you got cheated on. Like, whatever you're wearing, it's not working, right?
Wait, you gotta explain what you mean by that. Like, you mean whatever armor you're wearing?
Yeah, okay. Whatever armor you're wearing. Like, you're wearing your army fatigue shirt.
Yeah.
It's like, sis, let it go.
Yeah.
Like, he's cheating on you, and you're over here talking about fictional armor. Like, no, you need to work on your marriage. You don't need to be talking about, like, in analogies and...
Right.
Like, you need to sit down and deal with reality. Mm. And it doesn't look like she's dealing with reality. It looks like she's just repeating Christianese things, and it feels almost like she's just regurgitating things she's heard over time.
Yeah.
And it just makes her look, I don't want to say crazy, but not sane. Like, she doesn't have it together.
Yeah.
And he's taking advantage. People feel like he's taking advantage of her faith.
And why
God.
Wouldn't he? If it's working. I would like to see...
That's not working.
Oh, well, I don't want to see it, obviously. But if the roles were reversed, I don't feel like them specifically, but even like any other Christian couple that we know, that the man would be like, I just got my helmet of salvation and my breastplate of righteousness right now because my wife keeps, being for the streets. I don't see that happening. But with women, it's like, no, I have to fight for my marriage. And it's like, you're the only one fighting.
I don't know if it's like...
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know if it's skewed because, I mean, I don't know if it's like a statistic, but it just feels like men are caught more than women in like these types.
They cheat more.
In like these type of situations. I'm not going to just give into that. But I feel like...
Based on the stats and what I've seen...
Because of those...
You just gonna keep...
Because of those, because of those, like, stats or whatever, fake stats. I don't know.
Fake stats?
Yeah. What is it? Fake news.
All the Bouncing Eyes articles that we read, they was all geared towards men.
Right? No. But this is the thing, right? Where it's like, he had a moment of weakness. If a woman were to cheat...
How many moments?
Because these are the narratives that we have, like, in society just in general. Where it's men, cheat for ego, women cheat for emo. And it's like, oh, that's so much worse because her heart is involved. Like, he just had a sexual encounter.
A non-sexual sexual
Oh my God, that was another one. I couldn't believe he said that. And my thing is, like, how are you getting these off? Like, I could never get away with
Keep
this.
Keep going.
All right. But I think there are certain narratives that I feel like people, not just Christians, but society has like, you should be able to forgive him. He made a mistake, and we don't necessarily have that grace for women as much. Yes, we don't have that grace for women as much because we feel like our society feels like when women cheat, there's way more investment, like physical investment. Like, she's gone. Like, like when a good girl's gone bad, she's gone forever. Like, there's no coming back.
Why not?
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about society in general. That's kind of how we treat women.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, a guy sleeps with 2 women, he's something. If a girl sleeps with 2 women, she's something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
we just have these narratives about people. And I feel like for women, they are kind of just, we assume, or we come to like, no, you should forgive him. Like, it was just a moment of weakness.
Every time.
Yeah. And
but that don't sound ridiculous.
I'm not speaking for the mindset.
I'm just saying, like, how many times does somebody have to show you that, like, this maybe this is a battle that they can't overcome? You get what I'm saying? Like, even if it's not even, for me, it's respect. Like, you don't respect me, but if that's not how they look at it, right? If this is something that he struggles with, and he has shown you time after time after time that he can't overcome this, there's no armor that you can wear to change that. You cannot fight the battle for him. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
I feel like, and I think there are just so many different aspects of this, right? Where it's like, he says certain things too, right? Where he made a comment that he gave his life to Christ and his life got worse. Yeah. And then
that could happen.
But it's the continuation, right? And then it's this idea that he only like, things only got better because he at some point gave, like, he said the first time he gave his life to Christ,
he got saved.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he only just said it. It was verbal. And then later on, like, coincidentally, after he cheated, he got saved.
Yeah, he found Jesus in another woman's bed.
This is why it feels manipulative, right? Where it's like, you just so happen to really find God. You found him this time. Yeah. After you cheated. Right. When your super saved wife was away and you maybe figured this was the only way to get her back, was to be saved. And my thing is, in all of this, there could have been a testimony. Maybe that really is what happened. Maybe that really did happen, right? But you only addressed this after you got caught and exposed. And then you kind of lied about it at first. And then when more evidence came out, you couldn't lie anymore. So you told the truth. And it's like, all your goodwill is gone now. Everything you say sounds contrived, manipulative. It sounds like you're trying to sell your book. It sounds like you're taking advantage of your super saved wife, who, I guess, it loves that you are saved now. And it just all seems to be so coincidental. Like, the timing just really works out in your favor here. Yeah. And it's like, I can't remember who I was listening to, and they said, like, his whole little spiel is like, this was like a billboard for the devil. It was like, I gave my life to Christ and my life got worse. And the devil's like, I told you. See, that's why you shouldn't give your life to him. Come on over here. Things get worse. Yeah. And it's like, bro, don't put that on Christ. Like, take accountability. Yeah. When you say you gave your life to Christ and your life got worse, that's not taking accountability for the actions that you partaken in. Like, you were sending videos to girls. Like, no one forced you to do that. That was not the devil attacking you. That was you looking for the devil. Like, that was you, like, wandering into those like, dangerous places. Right. And it's like, yes, you put your hand on the stove, you're gonna get burned.
I think too, like, if you're looking for it, if you seek for something, you are going to find it.
It's kind of how that works.
Right. And so, based on the interviews with the other women, it was like, yeah, we met, in the DMs, or we met. It's like, how you meet in the DMs? You don't meet in the DMs. Somebody contacted you. Like, yeah, there are so many barriers. It's different. Whereas, like, you hear maybe another. We kind of spoke about it. A pastor meeting somebody at the park. It's kind of like, okay, not that I get it. You kind of stumbled into the situation, and then it you continue to feed it. Whereas this one, it was like you was feeding it from the jump.
Yeah, it was not a crime of,
they both suck.
Yeah, it's not a crime of passion. This is like premeditated murder.
Exactly.
Like you thought about this. You went home. You had to open the app, go to DM, click their name, type the message, hit send.
Yeah.
And then maybe she responded, and then you responded again.
Yeah.
And again, and again.
And then sent videos.
And it's like, at that point, it's like, man, these are conscious decisions that you're making.
Yeah.
And it's like, at some point...
The devil ain't make you do that.
Yeah, at some point, you gotta be like, nah, that was me.
Yeah.
Like, I was wrong. And I don't think there was enough accountability for people to be sympathetic towards him. Like, it just didn't feel... Even that, to me, didn't feel like a public repentance.
Yeah.
It just felt very...
Staged.
Yeah. And I wasn't a fan of it. And, like, I don't even care for him. I only saw him in passing. I thought he was, like, a dork.
Wow.
Just off, like, rip.
I just don't really watch stuff like that.
I definitely don't.
That's not the content that is made for me.
Yeah.
But I knew his face when I saw everything come out. And I was just like, oh, okay. But I didn't feel hurt because I don't care about what he has to say about relationships. So...
Yeah, and it only felt like he was trying his best to monetize the situation when he would do things like...
I mean, bills still got to be paid.
I guess.
And if this is your full-time gig and you messed it
up...
Oh,
no. He like... He need to...
Yeah, you're going to have to switch over to the personal trainer side.
He's going to have to go to, like, ITT Tech, pick up a trade. Okay. I mean, put the muscles to work, big fella, like... I don't know.
You sitting in the car anyway.
Yeah, I mean, go get a job. Like, he need to go do something because this ain't it no more.
Yeah.
And I feel like, honestly...
But people are going to continue to watch just to see.
There's a lane here still. The redemption story, there is something to be learned.
Have you ever seen it?
Okay.
Like... in church groups.
So you told me about a couple.
Okay.
I'm not going to say names, but you told me about a couple that, to me, I never even knew they dealt with infidelity.
They told you.
I missed that one. I missed it.
Confused.
I missed it. But to see where they are now,
yeah,
I think their story may be encouraging to someone who is going through something like that. Like, yes, you can rebound from this. Whatever it's possible to regain trust. It's possible to rebuild that love. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I would want to see positive, like there can be a good outcome out of this tragedy.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, it would take a lot. It would take public repentance. It would not public, but it would take repentance. It would take forgiveness. It would take grace. It would take like just things that
honesty.
Yeah, things that when you're in the storm at the moment you may not think are possible.
Yeah. Right?
And it's like what would the path to redemption look like, right? I think some people may want that. It doesn't have to be a dead end for everyone. But I don't think they're the candidates now to tell that story because they've lost all their goodwill.
Yeah, that's one of those things you don't get it right the first time. It's like you're done. Like, because you already came out the gate saying you never really had sex with these women. It was a non-sexual sexual.
Yeah.
Like, and then the next day, okay, actually, we did have sex, and my wife knows about it. So, if your wife know about it,
why lie?
Why did you lie? And clearly, she's comfortable with just sitting here while you profess. So, you ain't have to lie at all. Like, just be honest.
It was a cautionary tale about like trying to come off as perfect.
Yeah.
It's why the fall for grace for certain pastors and certain like celebrities are so bad is because you've given off this persona that you don't make mistakes. And especially for him, that not only do I not make mistakes, or that men shouldn't make these mistakes, but that women shouldn't accept these mistakes. You shouldn't have any sympathy for these people. And it's like, is that the life you want? Because
that's what the advice that you're giving women, your wife is not taking.
I mean, he do record all his videos outside. Maybe she never heard him. Who knows? But it's just like, yeah, he is getting back the energy that he gave out. But it's like, you don't even believe what you're saying.
Yeah.
You believe that you're worthy of some type of grace, some type of forgiveness. So like, why didn't you show that to other people? And I feel like he didn't do a good enough job, especially whenever they started getting their situation back together. I think you owe some people an apology, like a real one.
Yeah.
And those type of things may have been more goodwill for you, but you didn't do any of that. You didn't take real accountability, and it looks like you're manipulating your wife.
High value men, ladies and gentlemen. Let's wrap this up in a bow. Any final words?
Yeah, all I say is, for me, my final word is that you don't have to be crazy. Like, you don't have to look crazy.
You don't have to be a crazy Christian.
Yeah. Like, there has to be a better way to do this.
Yeah. And don't feel forced.
Yes.
In staying in an abusive situation.
Or toxic relationship where it's like... situation.
Because you're abusing my faith in a way. You're abusing my grace. Because I ain't God. I know we're supposed to forgive, but he has the unlimited grace. Like,
I think it's not to not to be manipulated by like bad interpretations of the Bible, right?
There you go.
You can use your brain. You don't have to be a robot.
Yeah.
In some of these situations. Yeah. But if you want to be there, that's different. It just didn't look like sis wanted to be there. So yeah, the internet ran with it, and this is what you get. But for the women that are watching who may be confused by the reaction of this Christian woman, they're not all like that, right? I think they're not robots. They're not these docile, oh, woe is me, like, we'll work through it creatures. Like, no, Christian women are strong women. Like, the women in my life are strong women. Like, I don't see them dealing with it the way she dealt with it. And they still believe in Christ. But.
My God.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think after seeing all that's been going on with them, or if you just don't care, or if you've heard of redemption stories that have ended well. Because I think that's encouraging.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Another episode in the books.
Bye.
See ya.
When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That you might work.